When it comes to facilities, we all know also that our community is somewhat divided, as evidenced by the vote, maybe even divided in half. What can we do about that? It's a very real problem that we need to address. We need to do it strategically, however. We need to do it thoughtfully. Many of you bring up some very valid points. Is there misconceptions about the plan? Who should be on this committee? What's the feedback loop? How do we get to the people rather than asking the people to come to us? How can we best get information out, and how can we best get information back? It's not a one-way street.
I think before we can even talk about putting this back on the ballot, we have to hear from the public. We have to. In the past, thank you, Ms. Frank, but when a levy was on the ballot or whatever, we held community forums at each and every one of our buildings. We didn't beg the community to come to us, we went to them. We didn't make it 8 o'clock at a crowded high school. We went to that elementary building on that side of town and asked you to come over there. I think it would be well worth the interest of the board to do that on this issue.
I'm very much in favor of having open community meetings at the different school buildings located around the city.
We have a master plan, a strategic plan, a marketing plan, a levy committee, building our future together committee, our future start now committee, and I got confused about 3 spaces back. We are going to form more committees. We are going to form a big committee, and that big committee is going to report to or condense to a little committee, and then it's going to go to our CEO, and then it's going to come to you guys. Where's the feedback loop? We didn't have a feedback loop in the last set of committees. We didn't have minutes. We didn't have summaries. There's no web presence of anything that went on in those meetings, and that's part of your feedback loop.
I'm all for making sure that the public knows what we want to do, has a plan, and that way then, if you vote for the master plan, knowing everything that's involved, so be it. If you vote down the master plan, with everything known, so be it. We'll change it again and go from there.
I believe that our schools are vitally important to this community, and I believe that we need to take the steps that we need to take to make sure that we're heading in the right direction, that we have what our citizens want. But I also want to have something in place for our students, because I don't want them to start kindergarten and finish 12th grade without any impact happening within our school system, because that's what I've seen over quite a few years. I know that some of the students that I taught in 1972 just didn't see too many changes happening with the physical buildings.
My mother graduated from here in 1940, I in 71, my children in the late 90s, and now I have grandchildren. The buildings just are not made for the new technology. They are not made for the new strategies and ways of teaching.
Every master plan that I've ever been involved in has always started with a set of assumptions, and those assumptions must take into account the new technology, because if you can't use that new technology, then you can't compete.
You can get a good education from an existing building. You can make existing buildings energy efficient. You can make existing buildings meet the needs of today.